Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. If you haven't got your seat yet on the winter solstice session, you can still get it in the description box below. And finally, I have created a 2020 quarter calendar. It is a tarot pool for every single day, talks about the full moon, the new moon, each one of those for every month. And on top of that, it's a big write-up about the Saturn and Pluto conjunction. So lots of really exciting and interesting stuff. If you loved the retrograde survival kit, you are absolutely going to love this. There's going to be one for every quarter of the year, but so far the first one is out, so you can get that in the description box below. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, when I went into my intuition, what I actually saw was I could see like a picture, and then there was like a line going across the picture, and as it was going across the picture, the color was changing, and I was like, oh, okay, so what are you showing me here? This is about your energy, Virgo. There's an energy shift taking place for you this week, and it looks for me like you are moving from a darker or heavier energy. Whatever was happening for you last week, this week you can kind of rewrite that. The energy is shifting, it's changing for you. You get to tap into that, whatever that means to you, whatever issue, challenge, whatever it is that you're stepping out of, it's now on the change, and you need to welcome that shift into your life. All right, so your destiny card for the week ahead is the Hanged Man, right? So a couple of things. The first one, this is about delving into your spiritual side, right? Whatever that looks like to you, whatever that means to you. For some of you, I feel like this energy shift might have happened in your personal relationship. For those of you that are partnered, it could be that there's something about that dynamic that's been quite challenging for you of the last week or so. If that is the case, it's starting to shift and change for you. For those of you that are single, this really does talk about you personally. It's kind of like whatever grey cloud you feel like you've been walking around with, this starts to shift now, right? The Hanged Man kind of says you need to take the emotion out of it though, right? This is where you kind of consider the whole thing an exercise in detachment, where you kind of rationally step back from it and say, okay, you know what? Yes, that was a bit of a crap experience, but I can move beyond this. And then finally, this is about delving into your spirituality. Now, what I will say to you is this: where is it that this rain cloud, challenging stuff, where is it that that's come about because you've chosen in some way to be a bit of a martyr, right? Where is it that you've kind of done the turn the other cheek thing a bit too much? This week, sometimes an energy shift happens because we make a shift internally, or we make a more affirmed stance on something, all right? Your direction card, to give it some context, is the Five of Swords. This, and I mean, that for me sums it up perfectly. You might this week have to say some stuff to some people or to a certain person that you might not usually be known for. This week you might have to verbally put foot to bum and just say, look, you know what, actually you're taking the mick, right? Or maybe you know, because this whole thing with the energy shift, your Five of Swords is having those difficult conversations. Sometimes it's fraught communications, but the Five of Affirmations, it's basically saying, you know what, I need to have this conversation. I need to have these harsh words, and some of them may be harsh. It may be that what you're saying comes across as that way, but it's just that you've kind of reached a point where you can't play the martyr anymore. You're going to have to do something about it and say, look, you know what, this cannot go on, right? The energy is there, and the energy shift will take place, both internally and externally. That's how it happens, as within, as without. Your insight card for the week ahead is the Queen of Cups. You need to remain on top of your own emotions this week. It's really important because the Queen of Cups has an experience. She is the, what would I call it? She's the ability to manipulate emotional energy. So the difference between the Queen and the King, right? The King rules his emotions, the King of Cups, whereas the Queen of Cups directs that. She can take it in and move it around. She can throw it out and bring it back in. Also, for all of you in some way, shape or form, a Pisces female this week may very possibly feature for you. It might be somebody that you're confiding in, but it could just as easily be this person that you're having that conversation with. There could be a water sign female that you're having a challenging conversation with this week. And it really does, for me, kind of look like you're having to say the things that you might have bitten your tongue on for a while. But this week, it's kind of like, if you want this energy shift, you're going to have to make those things known. You're going to have to say these things that you've probably been sitting on for a while. All right, so I'm sorry I couldn't give you an easier message of it, but I pride myself on telling people what I feel they need to hear rather than what they want to hear. You know, that's me trying to remain in my integrity. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you, what it might pertain to. I always love hearing that because for me, it's kind of like research, you know? All right, so take care and I'll see you soon.